Brittany Uhlmann reporting for KD Chats at the Royal York in downtown Toronto with filmmaker Joseph Levy. How did you go about choosing your three very different subjects for spinning plates?
Well, I wanted three restaurants that were incredibly different from one another. And the first of the three restaurants, Alinea in Chicago, which has been called the best restaurant in North America and was at one point rated number 6 in the world. The chef, Grant Achatz, is somebody that I met almost 10 years ago when I was doing my first Food Network show. And he was at that time in his first head chef position at a restaurant called Trio in Evanston, Illinois. And it was 2 months before he won the James Beard Rising Star Award. It was the very beginning of his rock star career. And it was also before he contracted his illness, which we feature in the movie. And I was just compelled. I wanted to do more with his story than just 22 minutes. And so that was how I found the first one. I've known him for 10 years and always knew that he would be a cornerstone of this. The other two restaurants are really based on what I grew up with, what I kind of knew already. I grew up in South Texas in a town called Corpus Christi, 250,000 people, and there's a restaurant there called Andy's Country Kitchen that, you can see the same people having breakfast there every morning. Everybody knows everybody. Community just gathers around the food, and that happens all around the country, but I wanted it to be on a higher stakes level. And I found this restaurant, Brightbox Country Dining in Balltown, Iowa, and they're in a town of 70 people, and they have 400 seats, and they serve 2,000 on some holidays, weekend days. So you're already intrigued. You find out that 6 locals have the key to the restaurant, and then they had this fire a few years ago, this calamity that really threatened the restaurant and burned down the restaurant, and the town just rallied to the aid of the restaurant and rebuilt it, and really came to show how meaningful a restaurant could be to a community. And the third restaurant, I wanted to tell a story of struggle that doesn't get told very often. Most of the stories we see about food are told on TV, and most of the shows on TV tend to be competition-based or docu-soaps, and there's a little bit of entertainment mixed in with the reality storytelling. But you don't see a lot of stories told about people who are trying to save their home from foreclosure and keep their 3-year-old daughter fed by being in the restaurant business. It's not always a glamorous, thing. And I found, after looking for a very long time, found this family who owned this restaurant in Tucson, Arizona. They had been open for 9 months, and they were just incredibly earnest, wore their hearts on their sleeve, and were having a really hard time. And I thought it was something important to show and a really perfect counterpoint to the other two stories.
And you really focused on family for segments of this film and the importance of family. What made you choose to take that angle and really show sort of the behind the scenes and the personal life of these wonderful people?
I think for a few reasons. One is that I think family is the first context where food takes on emotion in all of our lives. I mean, people always comment how you can sit transfixed in front of the TV for hours at a time watching Food Network. Why does somebody want to watch somebody make a meatloaf for so long? But it's so familiar to us, and it's so universal. And I think regardless of whether you call yourself a foodie and chase the hottest pop-up restaurant in town, or whether you would never even dream about going to a restaurant like Alinea, you still have memories of meaningful meals in your life. The meal that your grandmother made for you when you were 4, this amazing experience that you had the first time you shared dinner with your spouse-to-be. And food has an ability to become an emotional medium and something that carries, warmth and memories and love. And the first time we have that love conveyed to us with food is usually through our parents and our family. And it's the starting place for food becoming more than food and for it taking on this greater meaning. And that's just as important for the people who are making it and serving it to us as it is for us as consumers. So I think that's why it's such an important thing in the film.
And this film has been doing amazingly well, winning audience awards all over the world, Naples, Santa Barbara, Austin, and more. Why do you think that it's been doing so well and audiences have been responding so wonderfully to this film?
I think it resonates because all of the themes in it are universal. I think a lot of audience members feel that when they walk into this film, they're possibly going to watch something that's a little more familiar to them, a little more like what they see on TV. And a comment that I frequently get after the film is, I had no idea a food movie could move me so much, could be so emotional, could bring me to tears. And the truth is, the movie is really about people and the struggles and challenges, and it's a celebration of the ups and downs of life. But what you're really doing is watching people go through struggles of mortality and day-to-day survival and legacy, and all of this unfolds itself in the context of food, and we look at it through the lens of restaurants and food. But they're very familiar stories, very resonant, very real, and I think very easy to relate to.
And what are all these families up to now? Have you stayed in touch with them?
I have. We're quite close. Grant is fortunately cancer-free 6 years later, and still, doing great things. His restaurant is the highest rated restaurant in Chicago, and he's still, high profile. He now has multiple restaurants, as we showed him opening his second restaurant in the movie. The Breitbach family are still going strong in Balltown, Iowa. They're now introducing the next generation of Breitbachs into the business, as the children who are in the film are starting to have their children, and they're spending time in the kitchen. And I keep in close contact with them. In fact, the film's opening in Dubuque this Friday at the same time that it's opening here in Canada. And unfortunately, I couldn't go to the premiere there, but everybody from Balltown is emailing me, asking me when I'm going to be there, when they, get to see my fiance again. So we've almost become family. And the Martinez family in Tucson and I keep in close contact, and they're, I won't give the film away and what happens to them in it, but they go through some really big struggles in it, and their struggles are still going on, but we hope that this film can make a difference in their life, and can maybe right the ship a little bit.
And their little girl's doing okay. She's so cute.
Yeah, she's great. She's in school and she's happy. That's the greatest thing about them, is they're an example of people who, no matter what circumstance they're placed in, no matter what hardship, their optimism and their spirit can't be broken, and they know what's important in life.
And where's the best place for us to find out more information on the film and to see the film?
Here in Canada, spinningplates.ca. We're on Facebook, Spinning Plates Movie, and Twitter, Spin Plates Movie. We're opening this Friday, December 6th, at the TIFF Bell Lightbox. And we are currently this is our 5th week of distribution in the US, and I think we're going theatrical in Australia, and we'll be on video later, and hopefully, greater places.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on an inspiring film, and best of luck with your upcoming projects as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto.